Hey everybody, this is Noah back for episode 29 of the Thought Bubbles series. As the intro, yes, my watch 10 is quite bad. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Like I just like when I go out on my walks or my runs, like I just wear my Apple Watch and now I got a watch 10. It is just really unlucky. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it, but like I got to fix it. Anyway, this is episode 29, I believe. Kind of crazy. One away from 30, which is kind of cool. Um Speaking of cool, great segue here. I guess I'm just gonna go right into it. I wanted to talk about like trends and like kind of the cycle of cool. In case anybody is like not aware of what this is something I learned in like high school, I think. But like it's basically the concept of like how trends work, which is basically like everybody is looking for like something to become mainstream, right? Or something to become like popular or whatever. And then it does, right? Let's say like I think for a while it was like oversized clothes. I don't know. I'm not like tapped into like the clothing in like trends or fashion trends. I don't know. I just wear whatever, which is probably like why I look like um I have never like dressed nicely in a day in my life and I wear t-shirts and whatever, but like that's just kind of how I roll. But like let's just say it's like a new fashion trend, right? Like this happens and then like basically the cycle starts with like something that's popping off, right? It becomes super popular. I think mahjong right now is starting to become popular. I couldn't tell you what. Tangent, side tangent. Why is mahjong popular? You know what I mean? Mahjong's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's real fun to play mahjong, but like I couldn't tell you why it's popular right now. It just is. But like something like that, right? Anyway, mahjong becomes popular. Let's just stick with this case. Um it becomes popular and then the next part of the cycle is just like all the people want to hop on it, right? Like everybody and your mother, your cousin, your aunt, your like uncle, your third cousin, sister removed. You know what I mean? Like everybody does it. Like everybody wants to follow the trend, follow this like the lead and like do the thing that's cool. And then basically in that cycle, because of how many people kind of flock to it, becomes like almost overhyped in a way. And like instead of it being like something that stands out or something that's cool, it turns into like everybody does it. And then so it's kind of like normalized and it becomes kind of like stale in a sense, right? So like it feels really boring or whatever, like if everybody does it. And then so that way it then fades kind of out of that popularity. And then what's it called, once it like kind of fades out of popularity, then you kind of cycle back to like people thinking, oh, like, you know, like silly bands, you know what I mean? Look back at silly bands, you're like, wow, that's pretty gas. And then like there's a lot of like nostalgia and kind of things that kind of like, I guess, like the memories that came from the time when it was cool and it comes back and like all that nostalgia builds and then becomes cool again, and you kind of like cycle through things, right? Part of it, I think, that I wanted to talk about is not necessarily like just the cycle, because I think like the cycle make it a lot of sense to me of like why trends happen. I think the two things that stand out to me, one I think is like the part where things become kind of stale or uncool. I think for me, the first time I experienced something like this, it's like a weird, really weird example, but like the first time I experienced something like that was when I like in elementary school, I used to like Oreos a lot and I ate a lot of Oreos. And then like I got my taste buds kind of became bored of Oreos and then I hated Oreos for a while. And then after a while in like middle school, I was like, you know, I like Oreos. I like cookies and cream, ice cream. Let me like eat an Oreo because it brings back a lot of fond memories. And then I liked Oreos again. It was kind of like that, like, but like in a more pronounced, like socio, like social media way. But like, I think it tells, like the whole cycle itself tells so many lessons. I think one is like when everybody does it and it's not cool, that like, you know, when everybody does the same thing and like you try to be like everybody else, you kind of just end up being like in a quest to like be individualized, you become like everybody else, which is like an interesting topic that I like kind of sparked this whole video or like this thought bubble of mine, which is like, you know, I think there's so many times where like you're chasing a trend, and I think like that in a quest to become an individual or stand out or to like blow up on social media to become popular, you do something that actually makes you like everybody else. And that's kind of like a weird, like paradoxical thing to think about. But like, you know, I think one big lesson that like it automatically makes me think about is like, about just being yourself. And like everybody tells you like just like do you or whatever, right? And like I've made a video on it. I'm pretty sure I've said this like a million times over, right? At some point in these videos. But like there's so many times when like you want to chase the trend and you want to do what's popular because of for some reason, whether it's like you want to make more money, you want to like be more popular, you want to do whatever it is, right? Like whatever you're chasing in your goal, like you want to do what's popular, you want to chase the crowd, because I think that's like kind of like a natural thing. Like it's kind of like if you're in a class and like you're the only like it's like a yes or no question and you're the only one to raise your hand, you kind of want to like put it back down, you want to like be with the majority. That's kind of like how it feels like you want to be in like with the in group and whatever, but like by doing so you're not being true to who you are truly. I mean, there's some cases where it's like, let's say there's a trend that like you really like doing, like you've been playing mahjong your whole life and it's like, wow, now it's popular, like I think that's good. And like, but like the value you get from playing mahjong is not like to chase this trend, to be a part of the in group, to do whatever, right, to be popular. Like you're doing it because you truly like to play it and like you grew up playing it or whatever it might be, whatever that reason might be, right? Like I think it kind of relates back to like the video I made about goals, about like intrinsic extrinsic goals, desperation goals versus inspiration goals. Like the reasoning why you do something is so important that like yes, you might end up being in like this the conglomerate, right? Whatever happens in the cycle of cool, where like everybody starts to do it and it becomes less popular and it kind of fades away over time. But like even after it becomes less cool, I feel like it's so telling if you like stick to it and still do it. Like in the case of mahjong, if you it shouldn't matter like whether it's popular or not. You should just play it, because you enjoy playing it. Like not as a performative thing, not because like you're trying to impress somebody, whatever, right? Like I feel like that's such a big thing that like first kind of made me think about it, of like that idea of when everybody does it, we all kind of end up being the same. I think it relates back, or like the image that I'm thinking about in my mind when I think about that too is like in iRobot, when it's like, I think it's iRobot, when like Will Smith is there and he's standing and he sees like all of the copies of the robot. Like that's basically like what I'm imagining, like that's what you become. And like nobody wants to do that, and just like be like everybody else, because like everybody wants to be their own individual. But like it's like that chase for to be like chase like popularity trends and whatever. Like you're not actually doing it because like you like what the trend is, you don't it's all performative. Like, and like in your quest to be popular or be like a standout person, like you kind of just end up being like another member of the crowd. And then what happens is like you end up doing things not because you want to do it, and it's just an extrinsic thing, and you're trying to like look popular or look cool or do whatever, right? And I like I will say I have like done this before, like I've been performing in my life. I'm not afraid to say it, but like I think there's so many times where like you do try to do it and like you're not doing it because you actually want to do it. You're doing it because like someone else wants you to, or you want to be popular, right? Like I think that's such a big part of it. And like it feels also kind of that part of the desperation goal where like you're always chasing something. Like in the cycle of cool, when whatever is popular kind of fades out because like everybody's doing it, right? And it becomes kind of stale or whatever it is. Like when the trend slowly dies down or goes away, you're kind of still chasing whatever that next trend is, right? You're looking for the next thing, and like you just kind of end up following whatever's popular, not be, and you never really like latch onto something. So I feel like your sense of identity and sense of self is like confused. It's like confuzzled, like you don't really have like a sense of self, like because you're just chasing like trends. You're just chasing this like next thing, and like by doing that, it's like I think I it's just like it's such a weird like concept to grapple for me. I think of for a while I had a hard time like thinking about it, because it's like how can somebody who's looking to be an individual and push individuality and like do things that are popular, like why does it not like how do you just like end up feeling like another man in the crowd, another robot in the movie? And it's like you're not doing it. It's like the whole reason behind you doing it, right? It's like you're not doing it because you actually like to do it. You're doing it because like you're chasing a trend. And I think it's like a really big, powerful lesson. One, to not just like, I think it's so big to, first of all, like do things because you want to do it, and like not because it's popular, but because you actually like enjoy doing whatever it is, whether it is like wearing oversized clothes, or whether it's like playing mahjong, whatever it is, wearing silly bands, who cares, right? But I think you can't, I think it's such a stark difference between saying that like you're starting a trend or you're chasing a trend or whatever, and like being an individual, you know? Because I feel like, let's just say you're chasing a trend because you like doing it, that's fine. But also at the same time, it's like your individuality is still there. Like you are different from everybody else, you know? Like the way, how often you play it, how often you do things, you know? Like, I don't know if that's like a right description. Actually, I want to like tone it back, like wheel it back a little bit. But like the whole point, like I think that chasing trends ultimately is a very like empty journey. I think you're always going to be chasing the next big thing, and by doing so you never really kind of become somebody. You don't really have your own sense of style, you don't have your own interests, you don't have your own thing. Your interests are basically other people's interests, and that's it. And also, on the same token, I feel like you shouldn't have to try to like become popular. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but like you shouldn't do things like to try and stand out, because I feel like part of what makes us stand out and what makes like trends popular in the first place is just people doing what they love. Like you don't have to try to be like the one golden child in the crowd. You don't have to try to do it. It just happens naturally. And like I feel like it you gain so much more like enjoyment in life if you just chase the things that make you happy. And like whether it is going on hikes, grabbing matcha on the weekends, whatever it might be, right? Like and if people want to say, "Oh, you're being performative," I mean, like you're not. Like the reason you're doing it is because you truly like to do it, or it's something that interests you, you know, and that's like what you want to do with your life, and that's fine. That's totally fine, and it shouldn't like you shouldn't let other people kind of push you off that, or like make you double take because like it's something you actually like to do, right? And like I feel like that's how a lot of things get popular or like trends start or whatever. It's just a group of people who truly like whatever it is that's becoming popular, right? Like um and it's not them trying to be like, you know, you sit in a boardroom and you're like, oh, like what can I do to make the next social media trend? I'm gonna do this dance move, you know what I mean? Like all those dance moves are just like people expressing their love for dance and making a move, you know, and like it just so happens that people resonate with it and then copy it, you know, or like do the same thing. But like I think all of those things start from people and actions that are just intrinsic in nature. And I feel like that's like the big powerful thing about it is like you shouldn't have to try to make a trend. You shouldn't have to try to be popular. You shouldn't have to try to like hop on the latest trend or just like do whatever to gain success or popularity or whatever it is. You should just do it because you truly like to do it. And if it becomes popular, then it becomes popular. If it is a part of like whatever's in trend or whatever it is at the time, like that's just how it is. But like I feel like at the end of the day, as long as you do it and you feel like personally fulfilled, that's all that matters. I think at the end of the day is like what you get out of it, and the way you get the most out of whatever it is, right? The most enjoyment, the most positive is just like doing things and chasing things that make you happy. And I think that's kind of the main takeaway is just to like not try to stand out of the it's hard to say because like, you know, I'm telling you to like not stand out of the crowd or whatever, but like basically you shouldn't have to try to chase being famous or getting things popular or getting things like making things cool or whatever, because things that are cool I feel like just happen naturally because of people who are doing just what they enjoy and what they love, and that through that if you discover something that kind of resonates with you, then you can kind of be like, okay, chase it, even if it might seem you're being performative or whatever it might be, right? Like, oh, you're just trying to chase the popular thing. No, it's because I enjoy it, you know? Like, if it truly is something that you enjoy and you're not just doing it just because like, oh, it's popular, then like that's fine. That's totally fine. And I feel like at the end of the day, you'll know that it is something that's meant for you to do because like it'll give you a lot of like fulfillment and leave you happy, I think, in the end. But that's kind of my take on things. As always, if you liked my take, please like. If you didn't like my take, leave a comment down below. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Yeah, I don't know, but if you want to see a different video of me talking about something else, I'll throw the playlist up here. Sorry, I had like some carbonated drinks before this, but and the subscription button's down here. But yeah. Also, as a side note, I do this channel just because of my enjoyment, not because like, I don't really care about like metrics and stuff like that. I'm just kind of here to yap and vibe out. But hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully maybe I'll see you in a future installment of this series.